Hi Pisces, welcome to your month ahead for October 2019 with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. If you have not signed up to the winter solstice alignment activation session, you can do so on the link in the description box below. And before you fast forward, I have to tell you, right? I have created a retrograde survival kit. Mercury goes retrograde on the 31st of October this year, on the 31st of October this month, right? And obviously in between, we've got the shadow period. So what I want you to know is that I have created a retrograde survival kit. It's got a survival strategy. It's got a type of crystal that you can use to help alleviate some of the effects. It's got a quote for the month, lots and lots of information, lots and lots of interesting tidbits. So if you want to get that for $19.99, it is half price at the moment. It goes up to $39.99 the day that Mercury goes retrograde. If you want to get your copy and you want to get it half price, you can do so on the link in the description box below. With that said, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see what the month ahead has in store for you. And this month you get the Four of Wands. This is brilliant. For those of you that have taken job interviews this month, for those of you that have been going through the interview process, I can now tell you that you have got the job. When they phone, try to still sound surprised, because I know in the back of your mind you might be thinking, oh, well, you know, Raf's already told me, so what else? But all jokes aside, this is reasons to celebrate. It is also for foundation and stability, and the feeling that I get from this is those of you that have been going through the interview process, those of you that have been going through the hiring and firing process, this is where you get the good news, right? So it could be literally right out of the first week of the month. You could be hearing the news of, yes, we would like to hire you. Yes, do you know what I mean? Like, this is you going through that process and it's you having a reason to literally jump up and down. This is a fantastic way to start the month, you know, with your actions and interactions with the world at large. So whatever it is that you've been doing, you can rest assured that you have done more than enough. Your money and materials this month. Let's have a look at your finances. And this month you get the Three of Swords. All right, so it does look like finances, you might be letting go of some sort of a luxury this month. Now, even though you've got a new job, right, if you haven't been going through the hiring process and you haven't been going through a job, this is still a reason for you to smile. It could be, with the Three of Swords there, it could be that some of you are finally paying off a debt. It could be that you have a surprise, you know, windfall of some sort that comes your way that allows you to pay a debt, all right, to pay it off in full rather than doing the whole installments thing. The Three of Swords, for me, this, even though this is not necessarily an easy card, the feeling that I get from this is you are letting go of a debt, but you're also having to let go of a luxury. It's kind of like, and it is one of those things, can you imagine, like, say you've got something that you owe £5,000 on, you win £5,000 and you're like, you know, I could go on holiday, I could do this, I could buy that, or I could just pay the debt off. It's not as exciting, it's not as glamorous, but it is a freedom of sorts, it's a separation. Now, the fact that you've got the Three of Swords here means that it's a conscious decision. I feel like this is going to be good for you. It does look like, though, you're having to let go of a luxury in order to do the sensible thing. So this month you're being sensible with your finances. Well done, Pisces. Right. I'm joking, you guys know me by now. All right, so your communications with the world at large. You got the World card, right? So you are mastering up, you are leveling up, you are, for a lot of you, I don't know why, but the feeling that I get from this is all to do with your professional life. This month, your work life is taking precedence. The fact that you've got the World card in your communications, a lot of you are taking a step up. A lot of you are moving up, you're getting a promotion. A lot of you could be getting offers of new business. The fact that you've got the World card next to the Three of Swords though, you could be feeling it. Like if you're leaving one thing and going to another, you could be feeling that. If you are, you know, the other thing is as well, you could be finding out that you're, because the World card is Saturn, right? So it's all to do with things that take a long time to build. And the fact that this is in your communications, yes, you're leveling up, or you've mastered something because you had to repeat it so many times. You're letting that go. So even though these are, you know, this card is a challenging card, I feel like in this respect, it adds a layer and a depth of beneficial energy. It's kind of like this month, you're going to notice that things that are obstacles or things that hold you down or back, they're being removed this month. The obstacles to you know, to your best life are being removed this month, which is fantastic. There's going to come with change. It's going to be a bit of a, you know, a bit of a shift. But hey ho, you're a Pisces. You do this, you know, you guys do this in like with your eyes closed. So your heart and half sector, your personal relationships, you've got the Five of Swords. Not an easy card. So it looks like it's a bit of a mixed bag this month, right? You've got some great stuff, you've got some not so great stuff. And the Five of Swords, for those of you that are single, this could be you really feeling it, like, man, I'm single, like I'm so single right now that I'm single. Yeah, I was trying to think of something witty, but can come up with it in time. Right, and you could be really feeling that. Now, the Five of Swords does suggest that you might be feeling quite defensive about that. My advice to you is remain that open adventurer that you actually are. For those of you that are partnered, the Five of Swords, it could be a tough time for you and your partner. You've got the World card there, which means that communications are going to be slow. It's going to be a month where you're going to have to really work at your relationship. I'm sorry to say, you know, I'm kind of like looking at this like, oh, okay, because my partner's a Pisces rising. So I'm like, okay, pay attention, Raph. And this is, you know, this is ultimately what it's about. The Five of Swords is about battles, it's about arguments, it's about sometimes as well a situation or an experience taking us beyond how we would have chosen to really act if we'd felt in the right space. So just be aware of that. For those of you that are partnered, you're going to have to really be conscious of what you're saying, what you're talking about, how you approach things this month. It's all going to be quite important stuff. For your first week of the month, you got the Justice card, right? So this is the contract, new job, new offer of some kind. This could be, you know, a new place to live for some of you. There's definitely something that's coming up. Now, you do need to remember this month, we do have a Mercury retrograde. So luckily this falls in the first week because it's before the Mercury shadow, right? The Mercury shadow is going to happen around the second, third week of October. And this is kind of the time that you want to get anything big done, signed, in, under your belt, whatever, you know, is before that happens. So this is great. The other thing is as well with the Justice card is it sees you making a decision, sees you signing on the dotted line for something that's going to be better and more beneficial for you and your future. In your second week of the month, you've got the Tower card. So when it comes to finances, you may have not a hidden expense. Something might show up this month, right? Because you've got the Tower card. But then equally, like I said, this could be a windfall that comes, but it's almost like easy come, easy go. Like, you know, a bill presents itself and then, I don't know, you come into some money, or somebody says to you, oh, you know what, I just want to give you a gift of 500 quid. But you've just had a letter from so-and-so saying you owe us 500 quid, or such and such has just run out, or such and such is broken and it's going to cost you this. It's almost like whatever the expenses that comes in, it's covered from somewhere else. So it's kind of like, hey, oh, or oh, hey, like, do you know what I mean? It's like as it kind of presents itself is as quickly as it will be kind of squashed. So all in all, that's not too bad, right? Third week of the month, We've got the Tree of Life underneath the World card. Communications looks very, very good. You will probably find that your expertise is really being listened to. You could probably find this month as well that people are really paying attention to the things that you say. You might find yourself doing the Piscean thing and being really creative this third week of the month. You might have content to create. You might have... you'll probably be finding that there's a lot for you to do. It's almost like people are calling you, people are emailing you, they want to know your opinion on something, and they're like, okay, how would you do this, or how do I do that, and you know, what's your opinion on this and this? Like, you're going to be in hot pursuit, or not hot pursuit, you're going to be in hot demand, and there will be people in hot pursuit of you and your expertise this month, and it's been bloody hard earned, so own it, right? Absolutely own it. And then finally, your fourth week of the month, you got the Empress. This Empress card keeps coming up for this fourth week of the month, which is interesting because the Moon card kept coming up for the first week of the month. So I'm interested to see what's taking place there. But the fourth week of the month, you got the Empress underneath the Five of Swords. There could be some very difficult conversations taking place for you guys at the end of the month, especially those of you that are partnered. These conversations need to happen. If you want to see change, if you want to see evolution, these conversations are going to be vital. And the fact that you are willing to have them, that another party is willing to have them, is very, very powerful. It means that change is around the corner. It's going to require you to do the work. It's going to require you to show up. You're going to have to listen and hear some things that might not necessarily be very comfortable. You're going to have to say some things and divulge some things that might not necessarily be very comfortable. But I truly believe, because the Empress is about smoothing things over, making them better, and then living a fruitful, prosperous, abundant life. I really feel that once you address these things, so for those of you that are single, maybe even seeing a therapist or talking to somebody about, you know, why relationships tend to go wrong for you, and being brutally honest in that space will get you the most out of it, right? Because you will really be going in deep and changing something about yourself. You've just had a full moon in your sign, right? So for those of you that are a Pisces ascendant especially, but to a lesser degree the sun and a lesser degree the moon, right? But still, right, this is in your identity. When something happens in your sign, especially your ascendant sign, it's your identity. Something about you at a deep fundamental level is changing now. It's shifting, it's growing, it's evolving. And you know, when for those of you that are partnered, even more so, but you're doing this alongside your partner. And like I said, some of the stuff that comes up may not necessarily be comfortable, but it will be worth it. And if you look there on this card, you see the Empress, she's holding a newborn baby in her arms, right? That's not just about maternal energy or Venusian energy. It's about the fact that, you know, she's an older woman holding a baby. All things come full cycle, and within something that feels like an end or feels like it's perishing, you always find a rebirth. So then finally, your key to the month. What's that extra tidbit of info that the tarot wants to give you? This month you get... Ooh, you got the Four of Swords, right? So take it easy. This is not a month for you to rush anything. You got two fours here. Tower and a Justice. Yeah, so you've got two fours. And you've got, interesting, 3 and 4 of Swords, right? So that's 3, 4 and 5 of Swords. So there's progression here. Even though things might not feel like they're moving at 100 miles an hour, they will be moving. You know, things are moving, they are evolving, they're changing, but maybe in a manner that's not necessarily as fast as you would like it. You've got the 4 of Wands, fire. You've got the 4 of Swords, that's fire and air. They feed each other. This is a really good way for you to tap into building and growing this next stage of your life. You just had a full moon in your sign, which means something about you is changing at a deep level, right? And when we make changes at a deep level, it filters out into the rest of our lives. It goes out into the universe and brings us back things that are in line with the vibration that we're now putting out. Be a master of that. All right, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.